Sweet, mate.
Yeah, nice one. All right. Okay, so welcome to the JW Fitness podcast. I'm joined here with Jack Loveday. Hello.
How you doing, mate? You alright?
I'm good. So we'll start off with just you introducing yourself, what you do, your achievements, experience and qualifications.
Cool. So as Jake said, I'm Jack. Known Jake for quite a while now, which I'm sure we'll touch on later. Currently trainee PE teacher, soon to be qualified actually, so that's good. Personal trainer at Elite Fitness. So if you're in the Ely area, you've probably heard of it. Best gym around. Give it a look. And
nice plug.
Sports and exercise science degree. So yeah, love a bit of fitness and bits.
Yeah, good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So, before we get started, we've already had a first attempt at this video, but I stupidly didn't turn the microphone on. So, we're pretty much doing the same thing again as yesterday. So, hopefully it goes well this time.
Some things don't change, do they, mate?
No, not at all. All right, so we're going to talk about football. The current situation, how we first met as well, because that obviously was through football, and your thoughts on just the football leagues returning as well. So we'll start off with that. Then we're going to go on to talking about Olympic lifts, your favourite, how long you've been doing them, how long did it take you to learn, all that sort of thing. And then finally we'll talk about sports and exercise science as a degree, and see your thoughts on that as well. All right?
Yeah,
okay, so football. How did we first met in Witchford?
Yeah, way back when, on the 16s, I think it was, weren't it?
Yeah.
So a little while ago now. Played a season there. We were pretty rubbish, weren't we?
Yeah, I think we finished last, but I mean it was a great season anyway. Regardless.
Yeah, a very good year,
fun.
weren't it? And then from there we both went over to Mildenhall, didn't we?
Yeah.
We've played there together. Did we play? I was thinking this yesterday actually. Did we play under 16s under Guy?
Yes.
At Mildenhall as well. Yeah, I thought we did.
Yeah.
And then we played Solomon for a bit in the 18s as well, didn't we? So
yeah. So
we played a long time together.
Yeah. Yeah, there was some good times there. To be fair, I think Mildenhall was definitely the best one out of them all, I would say.
Yeah. I think the thing is, Witchford was great, weren't it? But we, as I say, we were pretty rubbish.
Yeah, that was more.
We had a decent side at Mildenhall, didn't we?
Yeah. I mean, well,
we had a lot of good footballers.
I think it was, what was it? It was something like 30 odd players in just one squad. So it was a very
something like that. It was mental, weren't it?
Crazy squad, but it was really good. I only played there probably about half a season because I joined halfway through, I think. But it was still really good. Nonetheless, so so we'll go on to the current situation in football and just in sport in general. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about stuff right now?
It's all a bit mental, isn't it, mate? To be honest,
it's crazy, absolutely bonkers.
But yeah, I think football. I say it's a good. I've literally just seen something put on my story that's ridiculous about football.
Yeah.
About that's it. They're on about doing like less than 45-minute halves for safety reasons.
Oh no! Oh, that's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous.
If they've got to do that, then surely we're not safe to come back.
No, exactly.
Surely, and I just think if you're in that position, surely you can't come back.
Exactly.
And as we talk quite a lot. We spoke about like fans and bits as well. Football's nothing without fans.
Exactly.
So it's just, I just can't see it happening. Yeah. I think it will, and I think it's wrong.
I mean, we spoke about yesterday in the first attempt. We spoke about when they shake hands and stuff, they're just going to touch elbows and things like that. But I mean, it's a contact sport. I mean, you've also got, it's not just football. We're talking about rugby, which is a massively high contact sport as well.
I know Six Nations still not finished, is it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy, isn't it?
It can't come back for me. But
no.
who knows with the authorities and what they're like. I think, like I say, I think I get that there's so much money and bits involved in it. And for that side of it, then they want to come back. But I don't think you can use that as a reason to come back.
No.
I don't think you can put money before safety. And I think, unfortunately, that's the way it's going to go. Heaven forbid one Premier League footballer actually contracts coronavirus. I think that puts football in a really, really bad place, doesn't it?
Exactly.
But you know, like, I look at it and I think, surely grassroots football's got to come back first.
Yeah, I agree, definitely.
I know the Premier League's important and lots of people love the Premier League and going to watch football and bits, but they're talking about bringing it back without fans, so you're not going to get that release of going to see it.
No.
Whereas I think you bring grassroots back, you know, you've got, I don't know, me who's a teacher, you've got people that work on a building site, you've got yourself, PT, work stupid hours Monday to Friday. Come the weekend, they want that release, don't they?
Exactly. It's almost like something to look forward to. It's a social thing as well as physical exercise. So it's all benefits in one go. Everyone looks forward to that. So yeah, I totally agree.
And I think for me, like, I haven't really played that much this year because I ruptured my ankle ligaments quite early on. And I just haven't. It's not 100% right, so I just haven't played really. Mainly because, you know, cricket's my main sport and I don't want to mess it up for that. But you know, I've still gone every week, still supported the lads every week. I think just because I love being in and around the changing room and with my mates.
Yeah.
I think that changing room environment is something that you can't beat, can you?
No,
I think when you're in and around your mates, and I think the lift that gives people is immense. So if that can come back first, I think it's got to be the way that it goes, to be honest, mate.
Yeah, 100%.
Whether it will or not, I really don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, I was thinking about this the other day. I was thinking, going back to the likes of the football leagues, like the Prem and the Championship and stuff. Obviously, you've got the relegation, the likes of playoffs and stuff in the lower leagues. I mean, it's interesting how I'm curious to see what they do with that, because that could cause so many issues and problems. You know, if it was me, I would say finish the season how it is, and then see if we can do the likes of the playoffs nearer the time when we can restart the season, just before that, basically.
Yeah, I think they've got to find a way. I think in terms of the Premier League, and like Liverpool winning this whole, everyone bangs on about it. For me, unless they finish, and I guess you could look back at playoffs, etc. as well. Financially, it's a lot bigger thing for slightly smaller clubs in the Championship, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think Liverpool still need 6 points to win the title, don't they?
Yeah.
If it was a full season, they're not going to be caught, are they? But they could be caught. So you can't give them the title, surely.
No.
If they can be caught, you can't give it to someone. And I think it's the same with promotion. Like Leeds, I don't know, I don't really pay much attention to the Championship, to be honest, but can Leeds still be caught?
They can. I think they're only a point ahead at the moment. But, you know...
Then can you give it to them? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's gone. Do you know what I mean? Like,
no, I do agree.
But I think it's difficult. I think
it's a tough decision, really, isn't it? You know, so I'm just putting my iPad on charge. I don't want that dying.
That's all right, mate.
Yeah. So okay, we'll finish on football for now. It's an interesting topic. I mean, we could go on for hours on that, I reckon.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Could annoy a lot of people as well.
Yeah.
probably already have said Liverpool shouldn't win it and Leeds can't go up. But, you know,
two of the biggest clubs out there. Yeah. All right. So next one, we'll talk about the Olympic lifts then. So, what's your favourite?
My favourite has got to be snatch, probably.
Snatch, yeah.
I'm better at clean and jerks.
Yeah.
I think snatch is such a complex move. If you see someone that does a snatch correctly, it's unbelievable.
Yeah,
isn't it?
it's so impressive.
It looks
to see.
so good when they snap through so quickly, get under it. But yeah, so difficult to do and stabilise the bar when you're at the bottom of your squat and bits. So clean and jerk is what I do more. Snatch is my favourite.
Yeah. But no, I would actually agree with that myself. I mean, clean and jerks, I would say I do more, but that's because, I mean, I've only really started just getting into Olympic lifts, so I'm kind of still getting used to the snatch. And obviously it's such a complicated movement. I'm just trying to almost try and perfect it if I can. I mean, I know it's not. It's one of those things where you're never going to completely perfect, but you know, I think it takes a lot longer than a clean and jerk to get used to.
Absolutely, and I think it's just that bar above your head. I mean, how often do you have your hands up here and you're in the bottom of your squat position? I mean,
exactly.
Like it's ridiculous, isn't it? When you look at these boys who are snatching sort of like 140, 150 for reps, it's mental. What I've found is YouTube's been a massive help in that. Instagram, I follow. I don't know if you do. Do you follow Sonny Webster?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Properly good. I mean, he got banned from competing, didn't he? Because he had like estrogen, I don't know how you say it, in his system, didn't he? And he tried to fight him, but it's claimed his innocence. But now he just does loads of seminars and online seminars and bits. So I've watched a lot of him. I found that really helpful.
Yeah.
Uni was a massive help. So in my final semester of uni, I had a strength and conditioning module. The bloke who led the module was used to be Northampton County Cricket Club S&C.
Okay, yeah.
So lots of knowledge in that field. Really helped. Laid extra sessions on for people. Just broke it down: first pull, second pull, triple extension, catch, everything. So that really helped as well.
Yeah.
And I just took, like, to be fair, at uni I loved it. And that was massive. So that was probably, I mean, I only finished uni a year ago, so that was my last. So I've only really been doing them for sort of the last 18 months.
Yeah.
But I've found actually performance has improved since then as well.
Yeah.
So, you know,
I mean, the link between the likes of Olympic lifts and just performance in sport is incredible. You know, that the amount of benefits athletes can get from those lifts for their sport is brilliant. I mean, I just think since I've become a strength and conditioning coach, I didn't really, to be honest, I didn't really know much about them beforehand, and finding out more about it has really, really helped me. But it also makes me really want to kind of express that knowledge to other people. It's kind of a subject which I don't think has been explored too much yet.
I think it has been explored, but it's not sort of in the mainstream.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't really understand it. They look at it and they think that looks very complicated, and it is very complicated.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
It does take a long time to learn. But I think a lot of people, because it's not. If you look at Olympic weightlifter, they're not always shredded, ripped, look really good, and therefore a lot of people, it doesn't appeal to them.
Yeah.
But like we've had discussions loads about, so like you're an S&C and I'm sort of more, the gym I work at has now moved on to more strength and conditioning based sessions. Actually, you know, performance is a massive part of fitness, and I think a lot of people don't train for that. And I think it's not just Olympic lifting. I think just training for performance in general, it is massive. Yeah, and I think 100%. you as an S&C coach can probably touch on that more than me, really.
Yeah,
but
well, I mean, I spoke about this yesterday. I notice a lot of the time you see a lot of people who come to the gym and they want to get into bodybuilding, but they also play a sport alongside it. And you think, that's great, that's brilliant. But I mean, if you train for the sport, you're still gonna make those benefits, and you're still gonna turn out very aesthetic, and you're gonna look like a bodybuilder anyway.
Well, that's the thing. I think, like much to your displeasure, I do like CrossFit a lot. I think it's a great way to train personally.
Yeah.
It's all about performance.
Yeah.
You look at CrossFitters, you look at a footballer, they train for performance. Most of them are aesthetic, aren't they? Well, all of them are aesthetic on the eye, aren't they? So I think that's a common misconception. Listen, I'm not against people going in and training for aesthetics. If you're going to go and train, I think fair play.
Yeah.
Like, go and train. But I just think there's probably not enough understanding out there.
No.
And I think a bit of understanding goes a long way, rather than going in and doing your 6 weeks of three sets of 6 reps heavy. Yeah. Then your next 6 weeks of 3 sets of 10 to 12 slightly lighter. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And don't get me wrong, like, that works, but are you going to get what you want out of it?
Yeah, that's it. So it's all about kind of specifics, really. I mean, going back to what you just said about CrossFit, I mean, I don't have a problem with CrossFit. I think it is good. The fitness side of it is brilliant. The performance side of it's brilliant. Obviously, I'm a strength and conditioning coach, so there is a bit of kind of disagreement between the two. But I think nonetheless, it is great, and it's really high intense, which is brilliant for the likes of athletes as well. So there is some benefits. I agree with CrossFit.
And it goes back to that point that we made, that like, not any training is good training, because if you're doing it wrong, it's not. But I think if you're making a conscious effort to go out and try and better yourself, I think you're already halfway there. Yeah, to be honest. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
In terms of that, but no, it's good, mate. I do love an holiday. So. When all this is over, you'll have to come and do a few with me.
Yeah, definitely. I'll have to visit the Elite Gym as well. That sounds really good. Any advice to listeners in regards to just lifts, if they were looking into doing lifts, either whether that's in CrossFit or S&C?
I'd say a few things. I'd say read up on what you're going to do first. Watch videos. If you don't have direct access to someone, Sonny Webster's great. Sonny Webster GB, I think, is his Instagram. Look at that. Look at his videos. Watch how to do it. If you're not comfortable squatting, front squatting, overhead squatting, or with a barbell, get comfortable. Yeah, I mean, there's so many stages to these Olympic lifts as well. I mean, when you actually break it up, there's a good maybe 10 to 15 stages, isn't there? You don't need a barbell. You need a broomstick or a PVC pipe, something like that. Master the basics. I'd say that's one thing. Yeah. Mobility is massive. Oh, a huge one. Make sure you stretch and you can get to the bottom of the squat. I don't know how many people you've had that you've trained. I've had it when they come in and they squat to they don't squat to 90 degrees. They're sort of like this. They've got their bums miles in the air, straining, got loads of weight on the bar. Get to the bottom of the squat, I think, is a massive one. And my second one is flat shoes, really. Yeah. I think is massive. Do not try and do it in running trainers. No. Oh, 100%. Because that will mess your form up massively. It may sound ridiculous, but it actually makes such a difference having flat shoes. I mean, I've got myself some powerlifting shoes, and I'm pretty sure I've seen you've got some as well. Yeah, I've got lifters, and the amount of difference I felt from going from them
from, you know, the likes of running shoes or whatever I had, I just saw a huge difference. I mean, I think there's also, I've heard Converse are quite good for them as well, because they're so flat as well.
Yeah,
another
I think with obviously with lifters as well, you get that little heel at the back, so you're a little bit, well, it's like raising your heel, so you've got that bit more depth you can get.
Yeah,
stability. I think that's actually something that's massively overlooked and actually quite important.
Yeah.
Get your technique right first though, before you go and worry about spending £150 on a pair of Nike Romellos or Reebok Legacies. Like, get your technique right, watch videos. But yeah, I'd say that is quite important actually though.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'll just go on one more bit for Olympic lifts. I mean, it's crazy when you do start them and begin them, because I mean, you think as a starter, when you did the likes of squats, deadlifts, all these big movements, you think there's so much to think about with them. But then as soon as you go on to the likes of Olympic lifts, you think, oh my God, it's way too much. So it's crazy how amazing it is.
Yeah. And I think as well with it varies it up as well. I think people can often get bored. Yeah. And I think it varies it up, and that's good. Yeah. Like, you've got to have your consistency. You're going to hit X, Y, Z in a week. But if you can add different bits into your training, it's going to keep you motivated. And I think that's a massive thing, isn't it? Everyone's motivated for 6 weeks at the start of January into Feb, and then it dies down. So yeah, I think that's massive. Yeah. One thing I'd say as well is, if you back squat with a pad, don't even start Olympic lifting. Get rid of that first, because that annoys me as well.
Yeah, so that's the topic, Olympic lifts. Definitely give them a go. They're really good for you. Pretty much anything, whatever you're looking to do in the gym or whatever your goals are, they're really good to try out. So definitely do them.
Especially if you want to increase your power output as well. Yeah, massive
definitely.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll just go on to the final topic, which is, we touched on it a little bit earlier, sport and exercise science as a degree. So yeah, I mean, my first question is really, why did you choose the course in the first place?
So initially, we obviously went to sixth form together.
Yeah. Great times.
I wasn't really sure. Very good times. Awesome. I wasn't really sure 100% what I wanted to do when I left. We had a lad, Max, in there, who was going to go to Anglia Ruskin and do sports science. I thought it sounded good. To be honest, I had my heart set that I was going to go to Australia for 6 months, play cricket, travel about, maybe do a bit of Asia on the way home. Didn't materialise. Ended up going to uni, and one of the best decisions I've made was to do that, I think.
Yeah.
So I've gone to Anglia Ruskin in the end with Max. I could stay at home, and Mum and Dad could still do my cooking, my cleaning, everything like that, and I didn't use my student loans to go on loads of good holidays at all. So, got to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, initially I picked sports coaching because Anglia Ruskin's really good. In your first year, the sports coaching and the sports science modules are the same.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the first year, you decide, right, I'm going to go and do science, or I'm going to go and do coaching. That's
really good.
And that's where you sort of separate.
Yeah,
and that is really good, because it gives you the flexibility to decide. So after that, I decided, right, I'm going to go off. I'm going to do sports science. Best decision I made.
Yeah.
Especially as I already worked in the fitness industry. I think we were 16, 17 when we qualified, weren't we, really?
Yeah.
We were really lucky with sixth form that they helped us with that. And we got that qualification free first up.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
So that really gave us sort of a foot in the door, didn't it? To go on and, you've got all your S&C stuff now, and PT and it was great. And initially, my plan was to try and make me go a bit after uni in terms of fitness. It's obviously changed a bit since then, but I think that's one of the beauties of sports science as well. And that's what I thought why I picked it, because, you know, I weren't sure whether I wanted to go and do fitness. I've ended up now doing a teaching qualification off the back of that. So I think it gives you so many options.
Yeah, there's so many avenues
that's why sports science is for me.
Yeah, but there's so many avenues towards sports science. I mean, if you're not particularly too sure on what you want to go into, but you know that your favourite topics are sport, as well as sports science as well, it's the best thing to go for. Obviously, I went to UEA to do a BA Physical Education. I enjoyed the course. I enjoyed my time there. I did the full year, first year, but it wasn't for me, and that was purely because it was more targeted at teaching. Don't get me wrong, I think teaching's great, but it's not really something I wanted to go into. I was more interested in the sports science avenue, and just in regards to like you said, sports science has so many avenues. So I'm looking to go into that in September, and we'll see where that goes. But yeah, it's such a great course.
Yeah. I mean, I loved every minute of it. And like I said, I've gone into teaching. I could have gone into fitness. Our mate who went to sixth form with Max has now gone into medical supplies and sales, and he orthopedics. So he'll go into theatre with a doctor. If say you've broken your wrist and you're getting a plate in your wrist, he'll go in, tell the doctor how to sort the plate out, how to fit it in, like with a laser pen. It's pretty cool to be fair.
That's pretty something.
And that's come from sports science. I don't know if I'd trust him to do that in my wrist personally, but I guess if you're unconscious, you don't know, do you?
That's it.
You know, so like I say, it's got so many avenues that you can go into, and I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've also got another question down about it, so the viewers can hear. What would you say your favourite parts of the course were, and if you had any dislikes to it, what would you say?
So, I mean, personally, I loved it. It was awesome. It was the best 3 years I've ever done. Best 3 years of my life. I loved a number of different bits about it. I loved actually the building that we were based in at ALU. It was unreal, mate. Yeah. So, like, we're talking labs. They've got like VO2 max machines. They've got like proper bike ergs that are worth thousands. They've got like leg machines that are worth like 30 grand. It's ridiculous, mate. Like the labs are a joke. So you've got that. You've got what else you got? So when you go to Cambridge, often if anyone that knows Cambridge, if you drive into the centre of town towards the swimming pool, you've got Grafton on your right. You've got the Anglia Ruskin building on the left, and I think a lot of people think that is just Anglia Ruskin.
Yeah.
And with it being a city campus, there is literally buildings dotted all over the shop. So on the big roundabout next to the tyre place, they've got a building with all the labs in. So that was awesome. I loved that. That was so good. What else? Well, I loved the S&C, obviously.
Yeah.
That was such a good module. I loved that. Having such good lecturers as well that have all sort of been there, done it. Was huge. So we've got. So my dissertation was on VO2 max, which is basically, for anyone that doesn't know, the amount of oxygen that you can utilise when you're exercising. So pretty much a test of how fit you are, to be honest. Was all about that. My mentor for that, Dan Gordon, competed at the Paralympics, has been a British cycling physiologist, was in charge of Chris Hoy's VO2 max test, bits like that, knows everything there is to know. Like I said, the S&C worked at Northants Cricket Club. My nutrition one had been Man City's nutritionist and England's nutritionist for a time. So the knowledge you've got there imparting on you.
You get so many links from it as well, I assume. Because, I mean, that sounds, out of the three you just mentioned, that sounds brilliant. I mean, you've got so many avenues as well just by looking at them too. You got advice by the sounds of things. Yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah, mate, it was awesome. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's bits you don't like. Like, writing a dissertation was a nightmare. It literally took probably 7 months out of my life.
Yeah. But
I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
I hated biomechanics with a passion.
Yeah.
But that's just me, and I don't like maths, and it just wasn't for me.
No.
I think, but that's the beauty, because the other 8, 9 modules or whatever it is that I've done that year, I loved.
Yeah.
So, for me, I'd recommend it wholeheartedly. ARU gets a bit of a bad rap, I think, as well, because it's not one of the high flyers, but for sports science, I can't recommend it enough, to be honest, mate.
Yeah.
I loved it. So, it was a great time, and very rounded as a result of it, I think. Especially, and it's only helped my fitness coaching. Like, I think because we were 16, 17, you think you know it all, but you really don't.
You don't at all, no.
And I think until, like, you go and do your degree, you do your PT, you do your strength and conditioning, like you do your nutrition, you realise, actually, when I qualified, I didn't know that much. No. And I think, actually, that's quite a good thing. And I look back now, and it's only improved me as a coach, really. I can't argue with it at all.
Yeah,
it was awesome, mate. So good. Recommend it to anyone.
Yeah,
I mean, you're obviously starting it. So
I start in September. I'm doing it actually part time at Canterbury Christchurch, which is renowned as a really good uni there for sports science. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
But I mean, definitely. If you are looking into doing sports and exercise science, definitely check out Anglo Ruskin, because I mean, I haven't been a student there or anything, but I have seen it from an outside view. I mean, I've heard it from you and a couple others who I've come across who've said it's really good as well. So definitely check that out. Yeah, no,
it was real good. I loved my time there, but I think, to be honest with you, I think I'd have loved it anywhere I went.
Yeah.
Tried to get into Loughborough, but no one having me, mate. As you can imagine, I'm not the brightest spark in the world. So,
well, you got yourself a first, though. That's very impressive.
I mean, just by 0.8%. So we won't get too carried away.
Yeah,
but no, I did. It was good.
Brilliant.
It was good, mate. I loved it. So
yeah. Okay, good. Cool. So I think we've covered all the topics today. Thank you for coming on.
That's all right, mate.
Yeah, so we managed to cover most things there. We could have talked for hours on end about football, I reckon.
100%.
But no, that was a really good chat. Next week, I am doing a podcast with James Warren, who's going to be talking about strength and conditioning and his own experiences. He is the strength and conditioning coach at UEA, so I look forward to that. Go follow Jack on Instagram. Your Instagram, JLovers44.
44, yeah. JLovers 44.
Cool. So give him a follow. Thank you for coming on.
That's all right, mate.
Like and subscribe the video. And look forward to seeing you on the next podcast.